Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this story I got for you is coming straight out of Chicago with ex-President Barack Obama's new presidential center that's going to be built here soon. And there is supposed to be an estimated budget or cost for this presidential center to reach $1 billion. And it has sparked much backlash and has upset many Chicago local folks, saying that once this center goes up, the price of residential real estate will go sky high, and it will push middle income and low income people out of the area. And it begs the question, did ex-President Barack Obama do enough during his 8-year tenure as president to deserve a $1 billion presidential center? We do know that back in 2010, I would say that there were two caveats that ex-President Barack Obama has been noted for. One is back in 2010, he was the first president to introduce DEI to the U.S. citizens. And then secondarily, he has been given credit for the Affordable Care Act, which we call Obamacare. But was that enough? We also know that ex-President Barack Obama had a certain temperament about himself that is much different than our current president, Donald Trump. Barack Obama seemed to be a negotiator and a person that was all about a meeting of the minds when it came to both parties, the Democrats and Republicans. He was definitely not as controversial as President Donald Trump. And to me, he kind of reminded me of a black version of Bill Clinton. And there were some similarities about them. They were great orators, Ivy League educated, left-handed individuals. And I think, in my personal opinion, that Barack Obama kind of reminded me of Bill Clinton and how he canvassed and navigated his way through dealing with Congress and the Senate in his 8 years as president. I thought Bill Clinton did a pretty good job with that, and also Barack Obama. But with Barack Obama being the first black president, it also begs the question, did he do enough while he was president for U.S. citizens as a whole? And definitely, did he do enough for people of color? Post his presidency, we haven't heard a whole lot about ex-President Barack Obama and what he's doing besides vacationing. We know Chicago is a mess. Violent crimes at an all-time high. Shoplifting, looting down on the Magnificent Mile is at an all-time high. Downtown Chicago commercial real estate is at a 50% vacancy rate. Mayor Brandon Johnson, I believe, has done a horrible job. They're saying that the city of Chicago is going to be $1 billion in debt. Gang violence, assaults, carjackings have been in the news media for many years, and I've never heard ex-President Barack Obama make a mention of any of it. Aside from Barack Obama coming out of Chicago, you remember Oprah Winfrey made her claim to fame in Chicago. Michael Jordan made his claim to fame. And I think personally that it would be nice if those three, including the ex-President Barack Obama, the first black president, would kind of put a footprint back into Chicago to give it some civility. We know Chicago has been a city in the state of Illinois, has sent more politicians and businessmen to jail since 2000 than any other city or state in our country. And there's been a lot of chaos and disruption in Chicago. And I think those three important, famous folks, Barack Obama, Oprah, Michael Jordan, should have some say and should have some foothold in restoring the sanctity and civility of Chicago, Illinois, to a certain degree. I think that they owe that to the city to a great deal. But let's get into this thing about Barack Obama's presidential center, which is sparking backlash from Chicago locals. So the construction of a Barack Obama presidential center in Chicago that has sparked a backlash from local residents. Chicago natives told the Daily Mail that the $850 million center, which will serve as a cultural and historical landmark as tribute to former President Obama, will cause negative issues in the local area like rent increases. And why does that matter? The center has attracted scrutiny because its cost has nearly doubled from its original estimate and is now projected to cost and close close to $1 billion. Plans unveiled in 2017, and construction was expected to begin in 2018, but eventually started much later in 2021. The Obama Foundation has said the project is privately funded and does not rely on taxpayer dollars. President Trump has also criticized the project and blamed woke for hiring practices for its issues. And what we know, the 19-acre campus will include a museum building, public art, and a basketball court. Speaking to the Daily Mail, Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor said the center would cause rents to increase, which would result in families being displaced. Every time large development comes to communities, they displace the very people they say they want to improve for it. Meanwhile, Ken Woodard, an attorney for the area, said the center looks like this big piece of rock that just landed here out of nowhere in what used to be a really nice landscape of trees and flowers. He also criticized the project for being over budget and taking a long time to finish. It feels like a washing away of the neighborhood and culture that used to be here, he told the publication. Another local resident, Kiana Butler, called the building a huge and monstrous building and blamed it for increasing rents in the area as well as property taxes. So what are people saying? Everyone who sees the Obama Presidential Center is blown away by its beauty, scale, and the way it will be an economic engine for Chicago and a beacon of hope for the world. So it's definitely going to increase tourism and get people to come there. You have Shed's Aquarium downtown. You have the Magnificent Mile where you have all this shopping. You have Navy Pier. You have many amenities in Chicago that tourists and folks would love to see. Chicago is a beautiful place, especially in the spring and the summertime. You also have the water tower that's there right along the Magnificent Mile. So this will be another amenity for to activate and increase visitors to Chicago and tourism, even at the cost of $1 billion, which this story says is not at the expense of taxpayers. It's going to be privately funded, which is a good thing. They also said we're looking forward to welcoming all visitors to the 19.3 acre campus next spring to experience a presidential center that not only honors the Obama's legacy, but also lifts up the next generation of leaders. So what happens next? The center is due to open in April of 2026, which is next year. The Obama Foundation is launching a series of tours around the site while it is in construction until November. So there's two ways to look at it. should we even care that it's costing $1 billion to build this center? We know that ex-President Barack Obama made a historical first-time situation, being the first president of color in the history of America. Does that coagulate with him being able to build a $1 billion center in downtown Chicago? Do those actuate with each other? I don't know. Did he do enough as the president of the United States in his 8-year tenure? That's another question. There is definitely a big sway and a big difference between ex-President Barack Obama and our current president, Donald Trump, and their worthiness and what they accomplished during their tenure as president. But I will say, having roots in Chicago, if this will bring a breath of fresh air and get tourism, get national conventions, corporate sponsorship, corporate conventions to come back to downtown Chicago, I think that would be a great thing. The worthiness of him having a $1 billion presidential center is somewhat controversial. You have to tell me what you think about it. Does it take all of that? I think many of the Chicagoans, based on the immigration issue, as I said, gun violence, increased property taxes, maybe he could have built a $400 million or $200 million building and used that other $700 or $800 million to restore the health and welfare of the city of Chicago that is being decimated with bankruptcy, bad politicians, bad leaders, going all the way to the governor, Pritzker, and we'll have to see how this all turns out. But if you're planning on visiting Chicago next year, ex-President Barack Obama's presidential center should be up by April or May of 2026, and that will give you and your family an opportunity to check it out. Tell me what you think about this new presidential center that's going to be dedicated on behalf of ex-President Barack Obama. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.